If you wanted to stop Africa from becoming a superpower, you wouldn't have to invent a new strategy. The blueprint has already been written, tested, and perfected over centuries. You'd start by making sure Africa never unites. The easiest way to do that is by keeping people divided along ethnic, tribal, and religious lines. If they ever start working together, remind them of past grievances. Stoke old wounds. Fund separatist movements. Keep border disputes unresolved. Make sure every time they take one step forward, they take 2 steps back because they're too busy fighting each other. You'd install leaders who serve foreign interests, not their people. Find the most corrupt, the most easily manipulated, the ones who crave wealth and status more than progress. Offer them power in exchange for loyalty. If a leader rises who actually cares about Africa, get rid of them. Assassinate them if necessary. But if that's too messy, just destabilize their government and back a coup. If they talk about nationalizing resources, make an example out of them. If they try to unite Africa, take them out before the idea spreads. You'd keep Africa economically weak by making sure it never industrializes. Let them export raw materials but never process them themselves. Control the mines, the oil fields, the rare earth minerals. Keep them selling cheap and buying expensive. If a country tries to break free and build its own industries, sabotage it. Place sanctions, destabilize its currency, fund local opposition, crash its economy. If that doesn't work, orchestrate a civil war. People can't build when they're too busy trying to survive. You'd make sure their education system produces workers, not innovators. Teach them history that glorifies their oppressors. Make them think their cultures are primitive. Their ancestors were savages. Their future depends on foreign approval. Train them to memorize, not to think critically. Keep their best and brightest looking overseas for opportunities. Make them dream of escaping Africa rather than fixing it. Offer scholarships that take their top minds to the West and never encourage them to return. Let the continent keep training doctors and engineers only for them to go enrich other nations. You'd control their narratives. Own their media, control their stories, dictate their image to the world. Make them believe they are corrupt, hopeless, eternally in crisis. Flood their screens with poverty porn and war zones. Show them charity ads that make them believe they are helpless without foreign aid. Downplay their successes. Twist their victories into isolated incidents. If an African country develops a groundbreaking innovation, credit a foreign investor. If an African leader implements a successful policy, frame it as an anomaly rather than proof of competence. You'd make sure they remain dependent. Drown them in debt. Offer loans with impossible conditions. Force them to privatize everything so foreign corporations own their water, their electricity, their land. When they struggle, give them just enough aid to keep them alive, but never enough to make them self-sufficient. Use charities to create a culture of reliance rather than resilience. Make them think foreign intervention is necessary, that they can't solve their own problems, that they always need help from the outside. You'd suppress their military strength. Keep their armies weak, their defense industries non-existent. Sell them weapons to fight each other, but never let them develop high-tech military technology. If a country tries to build a strong defense system, accuse them of being a threat to stability. Make sure they always need foreign peacekeepers, foreign military bases, foreign advisors controlling their security. Keep them vulnerable to invasion, coups, and foreign interference. The formula is simple. Divide, corrupt, exploit, miseducate, control. Keep them fighting each other. Keep them looking outside for solutions. Keep them poor, dependent, insecure. Make sure every attempt to break free is met with resistance so strong that the next generation thinks twice before trying again. This isn't a theory. It's history. The real question isn't how to stop Africa from becoming a superpower. It's how Africa can break the cycle despite every effort to keep it down.
There's a lot of wars that have to be fought across the continent. There's a lot of wars that have to be fought across the diaspora. I was in Belgium not too long ago, and I bring you revolutionary Pan-African greetings from your African brothers and sisters in the belly of the beast in Belgium. I was in London a few weeks ago at the Oxford Union, debating the father of Elon Musk, Mr. Errol Musk, on neocolonialism in Africa. I bring you revolutionary greetings from your African brothers in the UK. I was in Toronto, Canada not too long ago, where they're standing strong against the forces of racism throughout Canada. And I bring you revolutionary greetings from your brothers and sisters in Canada. I was in Guadeloupe, and Barbados, in Bahamas, and Jamaica not too long ago. And again, I bring you revolutionary greetings from your brothers and sisters across the Caribbean islands. And I was in Australia for the first time a few months ago. And I bring you revolutionary greetings from your African brothers and sisters in the land down under in Australia. Brothers and sisters in South Africa, you have to recommit yourself to the liberation of not only South Africa, but the entire mother continent. And as you fight this war against neo-apartheid, because that's exactly what it is. Apartheid never fell. What happened on April 27th, 1994 was a dress rehearsal for the new apartheid. How can apartheid be over when 40% of black women in South Africa are unemployed? How can apartheid be over when 47% of black youth in South Africa are unemployed? How can apartheid be over when 71% of all managerial jobs in South Africa are still under the control of white people? How can apartheid be over when more than 70% of all land in South Africa is still controlled and dominated by Caucasians? How can apartheid be over when the ruling government does not have ultimate control over how the resources in South Africa are redistributed? If there's one thing that you need in South Africa, just like we need in America as a result of the enslavement of our African ancestors, you need a redistribution of South Africa's wealth. A redistribution of the wealth. No one was forced to pay back what they stole. There can't be justice until there is restitution. And y'all have to make sure that you fight for restitution, not equality. Now, some people would say, Dr. Umar, what's wrong with fighting for equality in South Africa? What's wrong with black South Africa having the same chances as white South Africa? What's wrong with black South Africa having the same chances as Chinese South Africa? What's wrong with black South Africa having the same chances as East Indian South Africa? I'll tell you what. Equality will bring you more inequality. And the reason equality will bring you more inequality is because the Chinese have more resources than you do. The Anglo-Saxon has more resources than you do. The Boer has more resources than you do. The Indian has more resources than you do. So if the government gives you the same amount of help that they give to white people remain in charge. If the government gives black people the same amount of help they give the Chinese and Indians, the Chinese and Indians will still do better than black people. Because if you keep it equal, if you keep things equal, you never account for the inequity that was already there before apartheid. So we're not fighting for equality in South Africa, we're fighting for equity in South Africa. What is the difference between equality and equity? Equality says everybody gets the same amount, no matter how rich you are or how poor you are. This is why equality doesn't work. You can't keep unequal groups at the same level. You want equity. Equity says if the white man has 250,000 rand more than the black man, I have to bring the black man up to the level of the white man. Then we can practice equality. So brothers and sisters, as you struggle, you make sure in Parliament, in the streets, in the media, you let them know equity precedes equality. If equality precedes equity, there will always be inequality. And I want to say, as we fight and as we struggle, South Africa, You have to make sure that you keep abreast of the information, not only going on in your country, but around the world. If you're not reading an international newspaper every week, you're behind. If you're not reading a South African newspaper every other day, you are behind. Things are always changing, and you have to be on top of the most recent transformations. You must be intelligent. You must be knowledgeable. You must engage in critical analysis on a regular basis. And if you don't currently have a study group, y'all need to start one. At least once a month. We need to be coming together to study information about the South African past, the South African present, and most of all, what they're planning for the South African future. Because one thing I see on the horizon for South Africa, if we don't cut it out, and that is the fact that too many non-black Africans are gobbling up too much of South Africa's land. And if we don't stop the encroachment on South African land, your grandchildren's grandchildren may live in South Africa where black people own no land at all. We need to understand something. When we vote, when we organize, when we put our candidates out there, one of the things they have to fight for is for the government of South Africa to invest in the business interests of South Africans. See, when the Chinese come to South Africa, they come with a line of credit from China. When the Indians come to South Africa, they come with a line of credit from India. When the Jews come to South Africa, when the Arabs come to South Africa, they come with a line of credit from their native land. So if the South African government does it specifically and particularly and intentionally invest in black South Africans, we will be overwhelmed by the business interests of other races. You have to put black people first. And I'm trying to understand, why are we so anxious in a country predominantly black? Why are we so anxious in a country historically black? Why are we so anxious in a country overwhelmingly black to say we are for black people first, brothers and sisters? I am a Pan-Africanist. I am a Garveyite. I follow the teachings of the greatest Pan-Africanist that ever walked this earth, builder of the largest movement in modern history, the Right Excellent Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. And as Pan-Africanists, we believe in putting black people first. Some of you have a problem with that because your religion has brainwashed you into thinking it's a sin against God to care about your people more than you care about others. One of the psychological disabilities of African people, from South Africa to the South Bronx, from Alabama to Angola, the religions we belong to, not Christianity per se, but the way in which you were taught. Not Islam per who tries to blind you to your reality in South Africa is an opportunist or an enemy of the South African people. In addition to that, half of South Africa is under the age of 30. Half of South Africa is under the age of 30. That's a good thing. You know why? That means if we politicize the youth right now, if we conscientize the youth right now, if we organize and educate the youth right now, we can have a new South Africa in 10 years. So we got to make sure we're organizing those 12 to 17-year-olds. We got to make sure we're organizing those 17 to 24-year-olds. We got to make sure we're organizing those 24 to 30-year-olds, because the future of South Africa will be in their hands. You're the youth right now, but in 20, 30 years, you won't be the youth anymore. So you have to make sure you are training those who are going to replace you. One of the biggest weaknesses in the African race, wherever we are in the world, is we are the only people who pray to God for their leaders while everybody else makes and grows their own. White people don't pray for leaders, they make them. Russians don't pray for leaders, they make them. Jews in Israel, they don't pray for leaders, they make them. Black people are on hands and knees praying to God for leader. You don't need to pray to God for your leaders. Make them, grow them, train them, and teach them. Brothers and sisters, one of the things we're going to have to overcome as we organize, one of the things your generation is going to have to get right that my generation didn't, and that is you're going to have to suffocate the ego of the Negro. And what do I mean when I talk about the ego of the Negro? Most of you here are here for the complete and total liberation of South Africa. Most of you here are for the return of the land and the resources in South Africa. But some of you are not here for the people. You are here for your ego. You are here to see what you can get out the movement. You are here to see what you can siphon off of the struggle. Let us be honest. When we study the black freedom struggle in Africa, in America, the Caribbean, all throughout the world, we have to make sure we understand that there has always been a selfish impetus buried deep within the liberation struggle that has often undermined it and sabotaged it. You, brothers and sisters, have to declare wars on the board that lives inside of you. Every South African has a white man inside of him. Every American African has a white man inside of him. Every Jamaican African, Haitian African, Brazilian African, Canadian African, because the whole African world has been victimized by white supremacy. So all of us on some level still has a cracker inside your consciousness. The question is, do you recognize it? The question is, do you control it? The question is, do you study yourself deep enough and long enough to recognize your political inconsistencies so you can control them and prevent them from sabotaging your movement? That's right. Malcolm X was murdered for ego. Thomas Sankara was murdered for ego. Samora Machel and Walter Mondlane were murdered for ego. Walter Rodney in Guyana was murdered for ego. There's even a strong chance Chris Hani was murdered for ego. If somebody does something better than you do, are you man or woman enough? Are you humble enough? Are you graceful enough to say, you know what? You do that better than me. And for the sake of the people, I want you to be in charge. The problem with us as African people, we so used to being told what to do by white people, that when it's time to be told what to do by black people, we want to get rebellious. We don't like internal racial authority because we ain't used to it. The white man told us he's the only person we got to listen to. So when we're all around black folks, we want to act a fool. But we never act a fool around the Caucasian. I need you to recognize the self-hate within yourself and tear it out. Because if you don't kill the Caucasian in you, the Caucasian in you will kill the black liberation struggle. My brothers, your sisters are not your problem. My sisters, your brothers are not your problem. We got to stop this back and forth male and female nonsense. United we stand, divided we fall. God made the woman to need the man, and God made the man to need the woman. The masculine principle and the feminine principle in nature are equal. One is not better than the other. So we have to stop blaming each other for problems that racism gave to all of us. Young people, make sure you are honoring your ancestors daily. In our culture, I don't care if you're Zulu, I don't care if you're Xhosa, I don't care if you're Swazi, Khoi, I don't care if you're Igbo, Yoruba, I don't care if you're Maasai or Kikuyu. All African cultures believe in the presence of our living dead. And our ancestors are our angels. They are the protection that is around us. And if we do not call on them, we will not have their support. Have you noticed in South Africa, the white man names everything after one of his ancestors? He makes statues to all of his ancestors. All over the world, the white man is honoring his white ancestors, asking them to help them keep you in bondage. Or are you asking your ancestors to help you liberate yourself from bondage? This war is as political as it is spiritual. And guess what? God, the Almighty, will not give us victory over white supremacy if all we want to do is imitate white supremacy. Let me explain something. We're not fighting for a free South Africa so you can wear Gucci and Louis. We're not fighting for a free South Africa. We're not fighting for a free South Africa so you can drive Mercedes Benzes and Louis Vuittons. We're not trying to remove the white man from capitalism to put a Negro in his place. We want to destroy white supremacy and its economic system of capitalism. One of the biggest contradictions in the global African freedom struggle, I see it everywhere I go. We act just like the people we're trying to get rid of. Black men are treating black women the same way white men treat white men. Black people are worshiping materialism the way white people do. Black people are tearing each other down, killing each other the same way white people do. Do you really think God, Almighty Supreme Consciousness, the Most High, by whatever name you call, because no name is sufficient, because God is beyond description. But understand, do you really think God is going to help us beat the white man just so we can replace him? The universe don't need another group of parasites, because that's what the Caucasian is. He's a parasite. And let me say this, South Africa. Let me say this. And I get in trouble for saying it, but it's true. Anybody in Africa, in any country, on any coast, in any province, if they are not a black African, they are not an African. They are a visitor, an invader, an opportunist, or a colonist. I know the South African Constitution says South Africa belongs to everybody who lives there. Why doesn't the Constitution of Israel say that? Why doesn't the Constitution of the United States say that? Why doesn't the Constitution of France or Belgium or the UK says that? I've never heard of a crime in my life where you break into somebody else's home, steal their land and resources, and because you've been stealing for so long, they invite you to stay as a member of the family. And then a few weeks ago, I'm watching President Trump entertain President Ramaphosa in the White House. And Donald Trump is talking about land appropriation crimes. First of all, if you steal something from me and I come take it back, that's not land appropriation crime, that's land appropriation justice. But in that conversation, I was disappointed that President Ramaphosa did not take issue with Donald Trump's narrative. He did not provide any context. Did you not tell this man that y'all stole this land? Did you not tell this man that white people are not indigenous to South Africa? Did you not tell this man what we went through in apartheid? Did you not remind this man that South Africa was one of the last countries to get their freedom and independence? You just want to sit there and let this white supremacist disrespect your nation and not say a word back to it. But that's okay. And I don't seek to demonize the president, but I hold him accountable like I do anybody else, and you have to do the same thing. Some of y'all might ask, Dr. Umar, why are you so concerned about South Africa? You're 20 hours away in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. What do y'all care in New York and Alabama? What do y'all care in Atlanta and Houston? What do y'all care in Detroit and Chicago? What do y'all care in Oakland and Cincinnati? I'll tell you why we care. Because central to Pan-Africanism, true revolutionary Pan-Africanism, is the principle that as the African continent goes, so goes all African people in the world, no matter where you live. If South Africa never gets free, Black America never gets free. If South Africa never gets free, Black Jamaica never gets free. If South Africa never gets free, Black Canada never gets free. If South Africa never gets free, Black Brazil will never get free. So I have as much interest in your freedom as you do, because as the mother goes, so goes all of her children. Marcus Garvey said, a strong man is strong everywhere. And that's true, because everywhere I go, Chinese are in power and they are respected. Wherever I go, Arabs have power and they are respected. Wherever I go, Jews and East Indians have power and they are respected. And everywhere I've been in the world, and I've been to every continent, Black people are disrespected and marginalized, even in Africa. So until we make up our minds that we're tired of being last, we will never be first. Because one thing is for certain, and two things are for true. God intended African people to rule this planet. You were never supposed to relinquish your divine control to the Caucasian. And this world will never run right until Black people are back in charge. It don't make us better than nobody, but we have a natural, organic right to rule this earth. That's why we were the only people on it by ourselves for over 200,000 years. Do you realize if we never migrate out of Africa, you don't get Chinese? Do you realize if we never migrate out of Africa, you don't get Caucasians? Do you realize if we never leave Africa, you don't get East Indians? There would have been no other race if we never migrated out of the great continent. All these other races are our children, and no parent allows their children to run their house. It is our job to take back control of the house. Brothers and sisters, it is important that we find a way to deal with our conflicts in a healthy fashion. One of the weaknesses of African people is our inability to handle conflicts in a reasonable and respectable manner. Somebody brought up the question to me yesterday. They said, Dr. Umar, what do you think about the immigrant crisis in South Africa? Where we got Africans from other countries coming into South Africa, taking jobs from South Africans, breaking strike lines where South Africans are trying to struggle to get better pay and employment. And I said there would be no South African immigrant crisis if South Africa organized and created your own Department of Immigration. I'm not talking about the government, I'm talking about the community. So that if you're coming from Mozambique, you check in with us first. You coming from Angola, you check in with us first. You coming from Botswana, you come and you check in with us first. You coming from Lesotho, you come and you check in with us first. And then we'll let you know what is okay for you to do in our country. And we'll let you know what's not okay for you to do in our country. But the problem with us, we don't organize and we don't communicate with other Africans from other places. And then when they show up and do things against our interests, we're ready to cut them off. When if we would have invited them to the table for a respectable conversation, we could have alleviated all the problems. Let us understand something. These 54, 55 countries we have, that is the work of neocolonialism. That's not the work of Black people. We didn't sit down at the Berlin Conference in 1884 and 1885 and carve Africa up like a pie. White people did that. Some of you in South Africa got relatives in Zimbabwe. You got relatives in Botswana. There's no line to cut you off from your kith and kin. So why are you using white man borders to make enemies out of your own race? Brothers and sisters, we have an alcoholism problem in South Africa. And y'all have woke up now. You got a couple of drunks in here? Listen, brothers and sisters, I don't want you drinking. Do you know why people drink? I'm going to put on my psychologist hat for a minute. People drink to drown out problems they don't want to confront and overcome. People smoke to smoke away problems they don't want to conquer, face, and overcome. If you're addicted to marijuana, if you're addicted to cigarettes, if you're addicted to alcohol, if you're addicted to sex, if you're addicted to eating, if you're addicted to shopping, I already know you have a problem inside of you that you don't want to face. And the reason you became an addiction to a substance is because you're using that substance to distract you from yourself. Understand something. None of us are perfect. Everybody in this room has some sort of an emotional issue. Whether you was abused by your parents. Maybe you don't know your parents. Maybe dad was abusive to mom. Maybe mom was an absentee. No matter what the situation is, you have an ill that you must fight. We all do. It's part of being human. But the difference between some of you and the others, some of you are going to face your demon and you're going to conquer it. And some of you are going to do what? Run away from your problems with liquor, cigarettes, and sex for the rest of your life. Make up your mind, brothers and sisters. One of the things I want to do in Africa is I want to help create a mental health treatment system in Africa. Because we got brothers and sisters. We got brothers and sisters in Africa who got problems and they need somebody to talk to and they don't know who to go to. And unfortunately, in Africa, there's a stigma that if you need to talk to somebody, you're somehow spiritually weak. It's the same thing in America. Your brothers and sisters across the pond, they need somebody to talk to, some of them, but I was told that if I'm a good enough Christian, Christ should be sufficient. If I'm a good enough Muslim, Muhammad should be sufficient. And Dr. Umar is here to tell you right now, your mental illness has nothing to do with your religion. Mental illness comes out of the fact that you live in an unhealthy society created by white people. This is why we got to take South Africa back. Because if we want black people to be healthy, and if we want black people to be whole, South Africa must be ruled by black people. I'm going to prepare to wrap this up in case there's time for questions. And of course, at the end, if anybody want to take a photo with Dr. Umar, we'll do that under the leadership of your leaders here. I want to say this, brothers and sisters. There are three main problems that are knocking on our doorstep as African people. And these three main problems are something that you're going to have to confront. Number one, land appropriation. There is an agenda to take Africa away from African people. They don't want nobody of black skin to own any sizable portion of land anywhere in the world. They're taking land from your brothers and sisters in England. They're taking land from your brothers and sisters in America. They're taking land from your brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, and they're taking land from brothers and sisters in Africa. We must hold on to the land. Because if we lose Africa, we will be a race of slaves. If we lose our international homeland, we will be a race of slaves. There's no such thing as freedom without a land of your own. Number two, be careful of pharmaceuticals. They are pumping drugs into Africa, and some of y'all taking every drug they pump. You don't need the COVID shot, South Africa. That's Bill Gates' scam. You don't need autism shot. You don't need MMR. You don't need the flu shot. All these shots that they come up with are designed to compromise the black immune system. This is why we got so much cancer. This is why we got so much diabetes. This is why we got so much heart disease, because the chemicals that they are putting into the black body are designed to kill the black body. You are melanated. I need you to understand something. This black skin of ours, this is not a color. It is energy. It is a source. And this carbon in your skin, this energy, interacts with everything you think, say, do, or digest into your body. And so when you're eating the white man's diet, you are compromising the health of your melanin. White people don't have as much melanin as black people, so they try to make you think melanin does not matter. Yes, it does when a black woman is pregnant. The sac that your baby is in inside your stomach, that's a melanated sac. When you have a wound on your skin, it turns black. That's melanin turning your skin black so it can heal the wound. The iris in your eye, that is melanin. We have more melanin than everyone else because we are more spiritual than everyone else. Melanin is God's gene. And for those of you who have children, please don't give them the MMR shot. Measles, mumps, and rubella is causing autism in South Africa. I'm going to say it again. The measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination that they want to give your South African babies is the trigger for autism. I know this because it's already been exposed in America. It's already been exposed in the UK. Why do you have so many black children with autism in South Africa? 50 years ago, we didn't have no autistic kids in South Africa. Why you got so many of them today? Because of the damn vaccinations. And you just keep on giving your children these vaccinations. Why would someone trying to get rid of you give you something to help you live longer? I want to say this. I wish all of you well in everything that you do. As I look around, I see a lot of young faces. Young people, let me give you a little word for your future. Don't waste your time doing nothing with it. Social media is a waste of time. Use it for your organizing. But don't become an addict to TikTok. Don't become an addict to Instagram. Because guess what, young people? The older you get, the faster your life goes. One day you're 17, you wake up, you're 25. One day you're 25, you wake up, you're 30. One day you wake up and you're 40, and you're going to look back on your life and say, what did I do with the time God gave me on this earth? Stop thinking you will always have a tomorrow. You don't always have a tomorrow. Get your life in order now. When I hear the South African government says they want to do something about crime, Dr. Umar scratches my head. You want to do something about crime, but you don't want to do anything about poverty. How does that work out? Help me understand how you want to do something about crime, but you don't want to do anything about poverty. Poverty is the soil that grows the tree of crime. If you don't attack poverty, you don't attack crime. And 56% of South Africa is living below the poverty line. And if I was on the government, you know what I would do? South Africa is one of the world's leading producers of gold. South Africa is one of the world's leading producers of platinum. South Africa is one of the world's leading producers of iron ore. South Africa is one of the world's leading producers of diamonds. So guess what I'm going to do for every South African high school student? They're going to go to the mines and they're going to learn how to mine. They're going to learn the business of it. They're going to learn the investment of it. They're going to learn the trade of it. How dare you have children in one of the most minerally rich countries on earth, and 56% of them are living in poverty? That don't make no sense at all. Train the children in the skills that can pay the bills.